Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into a practical Python project, building a beautiful, modern temperature converter application with graphical user interface. We'll be using the custom Tkinter library, which gives the old-school Tkinter a stunning, dark mode makeover. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to create windows, buttons, input fields, and dynamic labels. Let's open up our code and walk through it, line by line. First, let's look at our imports. Here we import the library. We import it twice, which might look odd. First, we import it directly as custom Tkinter. Sometimes the library's own settings need this. Then, we import it again with the shorter as CTK. This is a common trick to save us typing custom Tkinter over and over, making our code cleaner. CTK becomes our shortcut for all the GUI widgets we'll create. Here we skip the function and start with graphical user interface of CTK. Excellent. The logic is ready. Now, let's build the visual stage of our application window. Start with the code of window equals CTK. CTK, this is the most important line for the GUI. It creates the main application window, the container for everything else, and stores it in the variable window. In second line is custom Tkinter set appearance mode, dark. This is why we imported custom Tkinter directly. This function sets the entire app to a sleek dark theme. You can try light or system here too. We set the starting width and height of our window in pixels, 500 wide, 400 tall. And we put the title temperature converter in the Windows title bar. Time to add widgets to our window. We'll start with a title label. After that, we create a CTK label, which is just a piece of text. We tell it to belong to the window. We set its text and, importantly, customize its font using CTK font to be big and bold. The next line means that. The .pack method is a geometry manager which places the label into the window. Pad X adds padding on the left and right. Pad Y sad face 30, 20 adds 30 pixels of padding above and 20 pixels below the label, giving it nice spacing. Next, we need a way for the user to choose the conversion type. For that, we use radio buttons inside a frame. Okay, next step. First, we create a CTK frame, which is an invisible container used to group other widgets. We pack it to fill the available space on the x-axis, left to right, and give it horizontal padding so it doesn't touch the window edges. Selected value. This is a special Tkinter variable. A string can be linked to widgets, and when it changes, the widgets update automatically. We initialize it with a default value of C, meaning Fahrenheit to Celsius will be selected first. Now we create the two radio buttons, placing them inside the radio frame. Now, we make a radio button. Its parent is the radio frame. The variable it is linked to is our selected value. The specific value this button represents is C. So, when this button is clicked, selected value becomes C, and then we pack it to the left side of its frame. The pad X like this 20 and 40 means 20 pixels of padding on its left and 40 on its right, spacing it away from the edge and the next button. The second button is almost identical. Radio button C to F mean Celsius to Fahrenheit, and it's linked to the same selected value variable, but its own value is F. This is what makes them a mutually exclusive group. Selecting one automatically deselects the other. Now, the user needs a place to type the temperature and a button to trigger the conversion. Input frame means CTK of frame window, and it packed that we create another frame to hold the entry field and the button together, packing it with padding. The line of temp entry with placeholder. This creates the text entry box or CTK entry. The placeholder text is the faint hint text you see before you start typing. Then, we pack it to the left side of its frame. Here's our convert button using CTK button. The text is what's displayed on it. The command is the most critical part, and that tells the button, when you're clicked, run the convert temperature function. This links the GUI element directly to our logic. We pack it also to the left, adding a nice 50 pixel gap between it and the entry box. After that, we need a spot to show the result. Let's create a frame and a label for it. Another frame or the result frame for grouping, packed at the bottom. We create the result label with a single space as its initial text. It's empty, waiting for our converted value. Notice we don't give it any special font here. That will be applied dynamically inside our conversion functions. And we simply pack it into its frame. Finally, let's add a little copyright footer by ending with end title label, because why not? But this is the example and not necessary. Just another label with smaller font, packed at the bottom with some padding. The grand finale, the line that brings it all to life. Do you remember above we skip function? Okay, now, onto the brain of our application, the functions that perform the conversions. We define our first function, convert temperature. Its job is to be the traffic director. When a user clicks the convert button, this function runs. First, it checks the selected value variable, which is tied to our radio buttons. It asks, did the user select C4 Fahrenheit to Celsius? If yes, it calls the convert to Celsius function. If not, meaning they selected F, it calls convert to Fahrenheit. Simple logic. Next, let's see the function that converts to Celsius. This function has a clear mission. Temp entry.get fetches the text the user typed into the input box. We wrap it in float to convert that text into a number we could do math with. We apply the classic conversion formula, is f minus 32 in a 5 divide by 9. We format the result using an f string like this, f Celsius dot 2f degrees Celsius. The .2f part is crucial, and it formats the number to show exactly 2 digits after the decimal point, so we get a clean output like 23.56 degrees Celsius. The last line in this function updates the display. Label result.configure is how we change a widget's properties after it's been created. We set the label's text to our formatted result, make the text color red for a visual cue, and style the font to be bold and size 20. Very dynamic. The sister function, convert to Fahrenheit, works almost identically, just with the other formula. Fahrenheit equal to Celsius in a 9 by 5 plus 32. Notice the formula is flipped. We format it with degree Fahrenheit. And here we set the text color to green. This little touch helps the user instantly know which conversion they're looking at. Excellent. The logic is ready. Window.main loop. This line is the engine of any Tkinter app. It starts an infinite loop that listens for user events like clicks and key presses and keeps the window open on the screen. The program will run until the user closes the window. And there you have it. A fully functional, stylish temperature converter built step-by-step in Python. We combine variables, functions, conditionals, and the power of custom Tkinter's widgets. Try running it, play with the conversions, and maybe even try changing the colors or adding a clear button as a challenge. The code is in the description below. If you found this walkthrough helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more project-based tutorials, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and happy coding.